Do you ever get stuck in your creative business or even in your life where maybe you're trying to make a decision and you're just not really sure what to do and you keep going around and around in circles? Or maybe you know what you should be doing, but you just feel like stuck and unmotivated, and it's not even really that you're procrastinating anymore, it's just you don't know what to do to move forward. Or maybe you're stuck in terms of you feel like you're super challenged and overwhelmed and don't know how to get out of it or find a different solution. I'm pretty sure that if you're a creative freelancer or solopreneur, that you have been stuck at some point in your career. And many of us who are dealing with COVID and pandemic and changes in our economy and our marketplace are feeling really stuck today. And that's why I'm here. My name is Aura McKay, and I am the founder of Business of Creativity, and this is Coaching for Creatives. So every week I come on, I do a live Facebook broadcast, and I talk about different topics around business, marketing, and mindset for creatives. And today we're really talking about mindset when we're talking about being stuck. So over the last couple of Coaching for Creative sessions, I've been talking about leverage and getting the most out of the work that we're doing. But what happens when we're just not really doing anything, when we're not able to do anything, when we're feeling stuck in our lives and in our businesses? What do we do then? And often the first thing that I do is I get curious about why I'm stuck. So as soon as I notice that I've been like right up against the same problem, the same challenge over and over again, as soon as I notice that the same item is on my to-do list or my accountability check-in over and over and over again, I start to get curious. Instead of getting down on myself, instead of getting into that scolding and the shoulda, woulda, coulda, and oh God, I'm a failure and I'm such a bad person and how come I can't? Okay, I do get into that a little bit. I am human. I do get sucked into that vortex of, oh my God, I'm terrible. But most of the time, as soon as I can recognize it, I get into curiosity. I get into hi Ashley, thank you. Yeah, thank you. And when I'm not upbeat and when I'm not feeling confident, when I'm feeling stuck in imposter syndrome, or I'm feeling stuck in a feeling that isn't my usual default of optimism and positivity, what do I do? How do I get out of that? How do you get unstuck? So today I'm going to share with you that the number one thing that I do to get unstuck is I get curious. I start asking the question about, well, what is it that's keeping me stuck? What is it that I'm feeling or thinking right now that might be the sort of cornerstone of what's stopping me from moving forward or moving towards what I want to do? And it's a really important thing to do, that pause of self-reflection, of self-observation, of looking at what's actually going on instead of just being overwhelmed with that feeling of I'm stuck and there's nothing I can do about it. Because you can be stuck in terms of your thinking, or you can be stuck in terms of reality too. So get curious. Ask the questions. What is keeping me stuck right now? So gang, I see that there are some of you watching live. So if you'd like to share what's keeping you stuck or some of your challenges so that we can get curious together around them, I'd love to see them in the comments or the chat box. Because before we can change something, it's really helpful to know what it is exactly that we want to change, to be able to identify what it is that's causing the stuckness in the first place. Is it mindset? Is it an actual tangible obstacle? Is it a circumstance? What is going on that's keeping us stuck? And as soon as I start getting curious, I start to discover different elements of what might be getting me stuck. And then I can get curious about that as well. So for many of us, we already know what's keeping us stuck. We already know that there is something about our attitude, our belief, or maybe it's, I don't have any money, I don't have any clients, I don't know how to market, I don't know what to say, I don't know how to price. So for some of you, what's stopping you from making a sale is, I don't even know what to offer, or I don't feel confident in my pricing, or I don't really know what to say in a marketing message. So being you stuck. So I noticed that I just got kicked off there for a minute. So hopefully it'll continue to record and you guys are getting great reception. So getting curious about what is really keeping us stuck allows us to start to see things like, oh, it's my marketing. It's my uncertainty around my marketing. Oh, it's my uncertainty around my pricing. So yes, Ashley, definitely that's the problem, trying to decide what is getting you stuck. And yeah, if we don't get into the practice of getting curious about what exactly is getting us stuck, and we just instead, we wallow in the stuckness, we wallow in the, well, there's nothing I can do, so I'm just gonna give up. If we get into the practice of getting curious, we're much less likely to get it wrong. And even that process of curiosity allows us to explore some of the things that might be going on that we could potentially shift. And here's what I know for sure, that when we can make one small change, that one small little action, it doesn't have to be big or grandiose to be able to start shifting things for us. It doesn't even have to be that we find the solution, the answer, the perfect thing. In fact, most of the time, what happens by getting curious is we start to unlock a series of other questions that lead us to a solution. So in the example of, okay, I don't have any money. So if I don't have any money, how can I make money? Or maybe it's, I don't know how to price, or I'm not sure I'm not getting enough sales, and every time I try to talk to someone about my offers, they decline it. All of those things. If we get curious and we start asking things like, well, how did I actually choose my pricing? Well, how confident am I in that pricing is going to actually even be profitable for me? What do I know about how does that pricing position me in the minds of my client or in the marketplace relative to others? And so when we start getting curious and asking questions about pricing, we can start to learn more about it. We can start to get more confident. We can start to feel like maybe we could possibly get over the barrier of asking for a sale or getting out there and marketing ourselves. So the process of curiosity is like the beginning process. And it is, Ashley, you're right. It's challenging to do on our own. It really is, which is why it is so great to have a coach or an accountability partner or a network of support to surround you with, to be able to give you a different perspective, a different way of looking at things. Often when we're feeling stuck, it's because we have one fixed way of looking at that particular situation or circumstances. And we can't even see that there are other possibilities for how we could view that. A lot of times we talk about this as, things are in our blind spot. Most of our opportunities, many of our resources might actually be in our blind spot in a way that we can't even see because we're so focused on one outcome. We're so focused on one way to do this. We have learned that the way things have always been, or the way things that we think, oh, this is the way that they've got to be, like in-person meetings, it's not the way they have to stay. And in fact, sometimes when we get creative, when we get innovative, when we start to think differently about things that we previously saw as an obstacle or a challenge or something to overcome or a lack on our part that would prevent us from moving forward. Often when we get curious, we get to get creative, we get to get innovative, we start to see different ways of finding solutions. And it's always easier to do this with someone else, to be able to get their perspective, to have someone else there with you, to prompt the question, well, but what if it could be different? Well, what could it look like? Well, what else might it be? Well, what else might be possible? What could happen? So getting curious, even getting curious about how other people run their business can give you great insights and ideas as well. So I strongly recommend that if you haven't already, that you check out my Business Accelerator Mastermind community, where we spend a lot of time supporting each other in getting new perspectives, in having new lenses to look at things, and getting curious about each other and about each other's business. So I will drop a link in the description for you for that. The next things that are coming up in terms of our training roster, there is a Confident Creative training series all about the 3 pillars of pricing. So if pricing has been an obstacle for you, if pricing has been a stop for you, if pricing has been a challenge and a place of insecurity or uncertainty, this is a great place to start. So on Wednesday, there is a training series from noon till about 12:45. Yes, there are replays available. Yes, there is COVID compassion pricing. I will share that with you. And finally, coming up in the first week of September, I am running my Pricing Confidence Masterclass, where we solve a lot of those obstacles for you around how do you price, how do you position yourself in the marketplace, how do you attract clients that you love, how do you feel confident in what you're offering and know the value that you're bringing to the marketplace. So many of the common things that are stopping so many creative freelancers and solopreneurs out there in the world. We're going to tackle those in the Pricing Confidence Masterclass starting on September 7th. So I'll share that link with you as well. Thanks so much for sticking through it. I appreciate you. I invite you, if you are stuck on something, to put it in the comments so that I can help you get curious. And yes, Ashley, curious is nice. You have to be in it to win it for you. And sometimes, Ashley, though, that's the stuck part, is that we can feel stuck in feeling like we're not in it to win it today, that we're stuck in a way of thinking around negativity or hopelessness or insecurity. And when we feel like we're stuck in that place, it can be quite challenging if we focus on the shoulds. Well, I should be in it to win it. Well, I should feel differently. Well, I should have more confidence. And I'm a real big believer in not shoulding all over ourselves, but instead, how do we set ourselves up for success? And I believe one of the first steps is to get curious about what success could look like. But what if? But what if? But what if? So that's what I'm going to leave you with today. Thank you so much for joining us. I will, no shoulds, exactly. Stop shitting on yourselves. We'll see you here next week. My name is Aura McKay, and I am the founder of Business of Creativity, where we help creatives just like you bridge that gap between your creative brilliance and running a successful business. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.